Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Grant County, West Virginia Matrix Show. I am your host, Brian Shreve, and on today's show I will be talking about the hospital, the county commissioners, and the development authority, and what's going on in the local news. We will start with the hospital. There's all these articles been in the press for weeks, and it all comes down to finally, after all the fuss and aggravation and upsetting people, etc., we have the final release findings of what is really going on at the hospital financially. According to these, there's room for improvement, which I can understand. That happens sometimes, but the thing that bothers me is the fact that the Grant County Commissioners did not wait until these findings come out to the public before they started acting. To me, a good leader would have waited until these were public and then made necessary changes to correct the problem. But instead, the county commissioners, in my opinion, they acted for the sake of acting, and whenever that happens, that tends to upset people. Democrats and liberals are notorious for acting for the sake of acting, and it's never good. I'm a firm believer we got some elected officials in the local area that are actually Democrats and liberals wearing a Republican label to get votes. And I feel that that could be the case with our county commissioners. I mean, it only makes sense to wait until after everything is laid out on the table, then start taking action. I would think that would go over a lot smoother than being sneaky about it. But that's how they operate. We are ruled by secrecy in Grant County. What can I say? I've said it before and I'll say it again. We are ruled by secrecy. They don't seem to care. They have broken the open meetings law a number of times, gotten by with it. They don't care. They never said they was sorry. Nothing. If I go down the road speeding going 65 and a 55 and get pulled over, I got to take responsibility for my actions. County commissioners, I guess they're above the law. I don't know. Moving on to the Development Authority, they remind me of Locust. We only hear from them every so many years. And in this article, they're talking about running a fiber optic cable from the gap to the data center, and then maybe branch out to the rest of the people. Well, that sounds all good and everything, but the thing that puzzles me is, are they going to let that cable run through their facility and them not get a piece of the pie? I think that's the whole plan that they're not telling us about. They're always complaining about money when we do hear from them, which is very seldom. In this article, they're talking about just not having enough money. But they've always been up to Ponzi schemes. That's one big Ponzi scheme anyway. In my opinion, the Development Authority, the way I understand it, is a corporation which is owned by the people. But for some reason, we have no say in their activities. We have one county commissioner that's allowed into their meetings, I guess, to be our spokesperson, but since our county commissioners don't care what we have to say, what good does it do for them to even go to the meetings? And that's about enough of that. I'm sure we'll hear a lot more garbage and bullcrap and lies in the future about the internet. I'm sure we're going to get a bill for that, whatever you want to call it. Moving on to my next topic, running for office. Been a little bit of confusion as to my status on running for county commissioner. Here's what happened. I went to the courthouse to file. They was not sure how a libertarian runs for office because they've only dealt with mainly Republicans over the years. So I was told to come back the next day. I went back the next day and I was told that I could run and I would be in the primaries, but I only needed one vote in order to get the nomination. There's not very many libertarians in Grant County that I know of, and then that would move me on to the general election. So I went ahead and filed and paid my fee. About a week later I was called up, had to go in there, and I was told I had to withdraw. Apparently the Libertarian Party does not use the primaries to elect their candidates. They use a convention, which they will be having in May. So I will find out then if I get the nomination. Then after that I can file for the general election. I apologize for any confusion. Moving on to my next topic, groom candidates. I've noticed there's some groom candidates running for county commissioner. And when I say groom candidates, I'm talking about people that have been hanging out with the county commissioners and other politicians all the way to Charleston, been rubbing elbows with them. If you see that kind of activity, chances are something's going on. If you see these candidates hanging out with some of the local wealthy people, chances are something's going on. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Politics is a very dirty business. They're out. Some people are out for money, power. I'm not saying that all politicians are bad, but most of them are, unfortunately. Do not trust anyone. Be extremely careful who you vote for. Make sure you check them out, see who all they've been hanging out with, having pictures taken with, the whole 9 yards. The last thing we need in there is another groom candidate. It is time for us to take our county back. We've allowed things to go down the tubes too damn far for too damn long. It's time to take a stand. We need to make a change in Grant County. That's about all I have to say about that for right now. I apologize for my first episode that I had posted. It didn't turn out right. I have since learned how to properly upload a video on the YouTube. That was my first time trying. Apparently YouTube only likes certain formats. MP4s is what YouTube likes. I was using AVI. I had to convert AVI to MP4. Got that taken care of. Got most of my bugs out. My camera, I'm not exactly happy with it. It shoots 30 frames per second. I would rather have one that does 60. That way the voice and my mouth line up a little bit better. But you gotta crawl before you can walk. I've always wanted to do a show. I get into conspiracies, politics, religion, Bigfoot, UFOs, etc. That is one of my hobbies. hopefully I get to do another show. If this goes well, I get good feedback. Maybe I can get better at it. I'm not the best in front of a camera, but this is what I like to do, talk about politics and religion and all that stuff, and share my knowledge, and let people get to know me a little bit, and who knows, might even get voted in as county commissioner if people like what they hear and see. Time will tell. So, until next time, stay safe and be careful out there, will you?